Hi, Michael Hennessy here again. This is a short video about how to get the best from your crop report on your phone when you're out and about doing agronomy work in fields. So to give you the scenario, you're out in a field of cereals, and in this case, let's just say it's winter cereals, it's or late February, early March, and you're looking to do some weed tidy up. So how can the crop report help you on this when you're out in the field? So as you're talking about weeds, you're really talking about herbicides. So if we click into the top three bars up here, it'll bring up the menu. In the menu, the herbicides are obviously products, so you want to go into product reference tables. So in the product reference tables, we're going to look for cereal herbicides. It just happens to be the first one here. We're going to read more in that. In the cereal herbicides then, we need to go and have a look at the weed susceptibility chart for all of these herbicides. So as you can see, it's the second one down in the contents. We'll click into that. Now straight away you see there's a good few weeds in here, but as you can see in the bottom down here, showing 10 of 21 entries. We haven't got everything shown here, so we'll just make that table that little bit bigger. Now we have all the entries of it. So I have all the entries here, and up on the top columns then we have all the various different chemicals or herbicides we can use. Now that's pretty difficult to look at. So as you're walking across the field, what I would suggest you do, as you're walking across, you might be able to spot the weeds as you go. So if you click in the little button row here, it'll bring up all the various different weeds in the table. So let's just say as we're walking across the fields, we can see chickweed, we can see cleavers, we can see field pansy, poppies, speedwells, common speedwells, and there's volunteer beans here as well. So that's what we have. So now what you see is we've got a very small table here. However, it's still pretty hard to compare Adept or Alistair Flex with something over here because it's very difficult over and back. So generally you're going to narrow down the chemistry that you're actually going to use. So in this scenario, we're going to narrow it down to Alistair Flex being something good for this time of the year, Broadway Star, and we're going to compare that to Thor and Zypar as well. Okay, we stick all those together. Now what we have is we have a small table that's specific for the weeds that are in front of me. So as you can see, the likes of Alistair controls most of the weeds, but not volunteer beans, and similarly Zypar would help in most of those as well. So a combination of both may well be a good option in this. However, you might also want to check out maybe some of the spring cereal herbicides as well. So we're just going to go back into some of the product reference tables here again. Have a look at the in the herbicides here, and in here we can find the winter. We'll find the spring herbicide susceptibility table, and that again will bring in a very similar list. Again, it's quite a big long list, and we'll make that list out as big as we can. So again, it's a great big long list. So a similar type scenario, we're going to pick the similar weeds that we talked about before. So we're going to pick out, first of all, we're going to pick out and bring all the weeds up here. We're going to pick out chickweed and cleavers. We're going to pick out field pansy. We're going to pick out poppies, common speedwell, and we're also going to pick out volunteer beans down here. Okay, so we have all those picked out. So now our table is a good bit smaller. But then we're going to maybe have a look at narrowing down all of these, because again it's very hard to compare all the way across here. So we're going to go narrow it down to the chemistry that we might have in the store or the farmer has. So we're going to pick Pacifica Plus and have a look at that in comparison to using maybe Cameo Max plus either Galaxy or Zypar. So what do we end up? Again, we end up with a relatively small table that gives you all the susceptibilities, and it gives you a very good option to pick out which one is most suitable or not for the variety of weeds you have in the field in front of you. So it helps you make up your mind very quickly which way to go. So that's it. Thank you very much. It's a very quick update so you can get the best out of your crop report. Thank you.